Wain이야기, bonsoir. Today, vocabulary. Let's talk about fermentation. Fermentation alcoholic is very important to know about what is the fermentation alcoholic. So fermentation alcoholic is the key point of making wine. Is where you're gonna have the sugar, the yeast working together to create alcohol into the wine. So what happens when the yeast eat the sugar? Yeast eat the sugar, there is a two action. First, there is a CO2 coming and the heat is coming. Then it's creating alcohol fermentation. This is very important. Normally, the period is about 9 to 10 days. After this action, the wine is not juice anymore. We call that in France, le mou. Mou is the part of first fermentation of the wine. Second, connected with alcoholic fermentation is malolactic fermentation. Malolactic is the part where the acid malic will change to acid lactic. And this is crucial part for red and for white because that's gonna bring you the butter and the milky sensation into the wine. There is some winemaker, they are not using the malolactic fermentation, then their wine is more fresh, more clean. And people who's gonna use this system, malolactic fermentation, that's gonna give you a very creamy, milky, round shape of the wine. This action to make the malolactic is to reduce the acidity of the wine and to create this kind of really wine is very sharp with the acidity. You make the malolactic and it becomes more unique and tender, sweet, beautiful. So we had alcoholic fermentation, malolactic fermentation. Connected to this one, there is a very typical word that you might listen many times called the Li. Li or Li contact. What is Li? Li is a dead yeast. When you do the fermentation, you have your juice, you add your yeast. The yeast is gonna eat the sugar from the grape and they're gonna slowly die and go at the bottom of the barrel. The people say a Li contact is juice fermented plus the Li at the bottom, and they're gonna come and they're gonna move and move and move and move and move to remix the Li with the wine to bring more kind of yeasty flavor. We do this as well for champagne in the second bottle of fermentation, but we talk about this later. Having a Li contact, so the Li plus the juice will bring a lot of complexity into the wine and will bring something more fatty part of the wine. Ouillage. Ouillage. I love to explain ouillage. Ouillage is very important part of the élevage. Élevage is when your wine is finished, is in the barrel, and then there is a small cap on the top. But because it's wood, we call that the angel share, la part des anges. The wine is a little bit going out of the barrel day after day because sometimes they do élevage for many years. The wine, we call that the evaporation, is evaporate. Then ouillage is the action to re-put a new wine inside to make the level always correct. So when the winemaker is doing the élevage, he always keeps some wine on the side just to add to the other barrel because if the level goes down, then it can create some oxidation and it can make the wine goes bad. Add some wine to the barrel, not to create any oxidation. There is one area in France that the wine has no ouillage, is for the vin jaune. For the vin jaune, they call that the angel share, so that's why the vin jaune is really expensive because they don't add anything inside the barrel. So it's gone, it's gone. Voilà. Jura, vin jaune, no ouillage. And the last word for today will be the Botrytis cinerea. The Botrytis cinerea is the very microscopic mushroom who goes on the skin of the grape and who create the noble rot. The noble rot, we're gonna use this and we're gonna make Chateau Yquem. These Botrytis need a very specific condition to grow and to be very well made. Noble rot, in the morning we need some fog and in the afternoon we need some dry and a little bit heat from the sun. This will go on the grape, on the skin, goes inside the flesh of the grape and make it very, very special. That's why we call that noble rot. Normally rot, negative, noble, positive, but together, wow, noble rot. Very important to know. Botrytis cinerea. I hope today help you to understand a little bit more about the wine and the wine vocabulary and the wine. We meet again next week, 6 p.m. Bye bye.